In Wilmington, Delaware, David Spunt, Fox News.
David, thanks so much. In the meantime here, we want to talk about the legal ins and outs of this trial having to do with President Biden's son, Hunter there. We're going to do that with our friend, legal analyst Neama Rahmani. You know him. He has guided us through the Trump hush money payment trial and guilty conviction. That guilty conviction happened 1 week ago today. Neama joins me. Neama, good to see you. Thanks for being with us on your Thursday. And we're talking about another trial having to do with yet another family member of a presidential candidate, the incumbent President Joe Biden here. Neama, you know, I've been off a couple of days. This is day 4 of the gun trial here, there in Wilmington. What have you noticed about this? The prosecution is presenting their case. Many family members of Hunter Biden, including the First Lady, including his former girlfriend and sister-in-law, we'll get into that in just a moment, his aunt and others have been in the courtroom supporting him. His children have been there in the courtroom supporting him. His now wife has been there supporting him as well. It's a family affair. What are his chances? Who has the upper hand right now, Neama?
Andrew, the prosecution has the upper hand, but it is good for Hunter Biden that he has family support. It's something that, frankly, we didn't see in the Donald Trump case, at least until the very end when some of the children showed up. The question we were all asking is, where's Melania? She's the one who was obviously most impacted by that hush money case. Now, even though President Joe Biden hasn't been there, the First Lady has every day. But Andrew, I still think there's just far too much evidence in this case for any amount of family members or support or anything like that to make a difference. Because really, it's the folks who are testifying on that witness stand that are hurting Hunter Biden. You know, his ex-wife of 20 years who provided some damning testimony. Zoe, his girlfriend, and of course today, Hallie. Probably the most important witness of all because they were in a relationship, and a lot of folks may think it's a strange relationship because she's, of course, her brother's widow during the relevant time period here where the gun was purchased and it was discarded. And she's, of course, the one who did discard the firearm.
So, Neama, is the question all along that prosecutors need to establish beyond a reasonable doubt is that Hunter Biden was using drugs while in possession of this gun, or only while applying for the application to get the gun?
Well, it's both. The application, there's 2 counts related to the ATF forms that were filed. So those forms, at least the allegations are when Hunter Biden signed them under penalty of perjury, saying he was not a drug user, he was not a drug addict, that he committed crimes. And of course, when he did receive the gun and he had possession of it while he was using drugs, that was also a crime. The defense is trying to narrow that window, saying that, you know, it has to be very specific. It has to be at the time he was writing, you know, checking that box, saying he wasn't a user or addict, and when he actually held the gun. But it's really not that, and Judge Norika's instructions to the jury is going to say that it has to be a reasonable time on or about the misstatement or the possession. And I think that's why this is going to be such a difficult case to defend, because even if Hallie said that she's not sure that Hunter Biden was using drugs or even alcohol during that 2-week period, she did say that he appeared to be under the influence of drugs. And of course, those text messages are so damning. That's why the worst witness in this case against Hunter Biden is Hunter Biden himself. And that's why the government started with that FBI witness to introduce the laptop, the images, and the messages.
You know, I want to talk about the Hallie Biden testimony here. This is Beau Biden's widow. And of course, it is strange because Hallie Biden and Hunter Biden had a relationship of their own. You know, she is his sister-in-law, and she called Hunter at 12:55 p.m. on this date. He then called her at 1:11 p.m. At 1:23 p.m., Hallie texted Hunter this. All these text messages were presented as evidence today. Quote, "Police coming to talk to me now." This is Hallie to Hunter. "I'll take full blame. I don't want to live like this anymore. This is too much for me to handle." Hunter later arrived at the store where the police talked to him as well. Hallie and Hunter later left the store separately, but Hallie said she could not recall whether she went straight home. She said, "I would probably go home, but I just don't recall driving back home." She testified about how she put the gun in a bag with the intent of getting rid of it. We saw surveillance video of that today in court, released in some of the exhibits, Neama. How important, how crucial is the testimony of Hallie Biden describing how she disposed of Hunter Biden's weapon? What material importance does that have?
Well, it's very important. It does show that it was Hunter Biden's gun. And you kind of go back, aside from the sister-in-law, she described how Hunter Biden introduced her to crack cocaine, and she used it for the first time with Hunter. And she herself had to go into rehab. And when she found the gun in Hunter Biden's truck with what appeared to be drug residue, she thought that Hunter may hurt himself. And that's why she disposed of the gun. And when Hunter Biden found out that she had thrown the gun away, he instructed her to contact law enforcement because, of course, that's dangerous. And the irony in all this is that's what initiated this process. Law enforcement came, they searched the trash can, could not find it. Then they started watching the surveillance, and they saw an 80-year-old former veteran who was picking up recyclables. And after several days, they were able to track him down. And both those officers testified, as well as the elderly man who ultimately retrieved the gun. So that chain of custody, that possession from Hunter Biden to Hallie, to the man, to law enforcement, that's all very important.
Neama, at the outset of the trial on Monday, President Biden and the First Lady put out a statement. They said this was President Biden. He said, this is on Monday, "I am the president, but I'm also a dad. Jill and I love our son, and we're so proud of the man he is today. Hunter's resilience in the face of adversity and the strength he has brought to his recovery are inspiring to us." They go on to say a lot of families have loved ones who have overcome addiction and know what we mean. He says, "As the president, I don't and won't comment on pending federal cases, but as a dad, I have boundless love for my son, confidence in him, and respect for his strength." He says, "Our family has been through a lot together, and Jill and I are going to continue to be there for Hunter and our family with our love and support." Well, today, he's in Normandy, of course, for the D-Day commemorations. He sat down with ABC News' David Muir, and I thought this was quite telling. He was asked on whether or not he will pardon his son Hunter if convicted. Biden says he will not pardon Hunter if he is convicted in the federal gun trial. He also said yes when asked whether he'd rule out a pardon there. What do you make of that? Because we're all talking about, if Trump becomes president again, can he pardon himself? Will he pardon himself? Will he drop all of these indictments against him? Then you have President Biden saying that today about his own son. That's quite a juxtaposition, is it not?
Very. And I take the president at his word, but things may change. And it's very easy to say that when you're in the middle of a presidential election and you're talking about how no one is above the law, whether it's a former president like Donald Trump or the son of a president, Hunter Biden. But I believe that if Joe Biden loses and if Hunter Biden is convicted, not just in this case before Judge Norica in Delaware, but he has a case in September with Judge Scarsi here in Los Angeles, where I am. If Hunter Biden is facing the possibility of prison time and Joe Biden is on his way out, I think he may be thinking very differently. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back on his word. Now, obviously, if he's reelected, the political fallout may be too much to endure. But just talking as a father myself, and with he really has nothing to lose, I wouldn't be surprised if that pardon happens. Again, if Hunter Biden is convicted in both cases and is actually facing the possibility of time in federal prison.
All right, Neama Rahmani, we'll always have to leave it at that. We can't thank you enough as we work our way through yet another high-profile trial. Neama, thanks so much.
Thanks, Andrew. See you soon.
All right, in the meantime here, let's take a quick